Well, I guess we're back on, guys. This is the final match of the night. Technically, I guess it's the Lazarus and the losers match. I don't know what to call it in the
Yes.
best of three, or sorry,
Just-
in the round robin with 3 players.
What's the last chance match? The redeem yourself, you crappy player match.
I like it. That should be the official title. And coming in the Redeem Yourself Crappy Player match, in the top right-hand corner, we have representing Edgy Dank Esports from the UK and ASL, one of our casters. It is the one, the only Purple Zerg Trigonal.
I think you said top right. Yeah.
I did say top right because I
Yeah.
was looking in the top right, and only
Alright.
halfway through I saw my cursor hovering on the hatch and was like, oh, hey, that's KingZerg. Sorry, guys, in the bottom left.
So up on the actual top right of the map, we have the blue Zerg player representing just being a boss. It is KingZerg.
I was looking at KingZerg, and then only halfway through I actually was like, oh, hey, it says KingZerg, not Trigonal. But even before that, I thought like maybe this isn't Trigonal, and I don't know what happened, man. I don't know. But
Who knows?
nevertheless, KingZerg is opening pool into gas, and this is a quick pool into gas, guys.
Yeah.
Against Trigonal's, I don't think it's Hash First. Was that
Yeah, it
Hash
was
First?
Hatch first.
I
Yeah,
think
it was
is,
Hatch first this time. And I think this is the first Hatch first we've seen tonight in 3 ZVZs, which doesn't make any sense. But but that's what's happened.
I mean, these players are no economy for us. We're all gonna be like amazing microers, microers. I don't even know what to say anymore. But Trigonal's gonna have a hard time dealing with this. KingZerg already has his Overlord in the natural base, spots it, and now Trigonal spots the Sixlings moving across the map. So how is he gonna defend this? He's still got about 10 seconds left on his spawning pool, and then for Lings, Lings are 24 seconds, so he may just be okay. Only 2 Lings can be started though. And the Queen is really gonna be the game changer here, and this is gonna have to be a clutch move, clutch hold.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens. Often this happens, which is that the hatchery kind of delays as the person decides what target to actually go after. But he is coming in here now against the drones. They'll pull back, doing mineral-y stuff.
Doing mineral stuff?
Yeah, mineral walking.
All right,
but
that's in
that
Brood War
mineral
though. That doesn't actually exist, sadly, in StarCraft
What?
2. I
Mineral
wish it
walking?
did though.
Mineral walking does work.
StarCraft 2, it does.
Mineral walking, yeah.
Like when you push through the mineral onto the other side.
No, when you click on the mineral, you'll go through any unit.
Oh yeah.
Like so that your mineral stack on yourself, so that they can't target anything. That's a
No. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's when you feel. That's when
no,
like
yeah, pushing through the other side. No, that doesn't.
if your opponent pulls all their workers and tries to kill your scouting worker, you just click on the mineral field and be like, "Screw you, man! What are you doing?" But KingZerg does not need any drones, anything to be pulled to screw anything, because he's got Banelings coming in hard, and Trigonal's gonna have to defend this really well. And big hits go off, but not quite enough actually. Trigonal just barely defends, and now there's nothing coming out of KingZerg. He's got his natural base going, but still literally has about 90 seconds to complete. So this has actually put Trigonal in a fantastic position. Currently, Trigonal has 17 workers to the 19 of KingZerg, but this is only going to go better and better for Trigonal from this point.
Yeah, exactly. He's so much more developed, and as we say that, he's up to 21 now, using 2 on these evolution chambers to bring him to 20. But he's so much more developed in every way against his opponent. Though KingZerg is now working on these back rocks. No scouting or anything over there yet. But yes, smartly for this circumstance, Trigonal is actually taking down the collapsible rock tower here to provide buffering for any extra attack coming from there.
Yep, Trigonal is actually the one that told me an Overlord could go right there and spot both rocks. So his Overlord, his knowledge, has saved his butt right here. He will probably miss an inject. Yeah, he's going to miss an inject, but he's going to have a defense up, and he's going to have 2 queens on the high ground. He's actually at 4 queens right now, so potentially he'd keep 2 queens behind those rocks and just be able to kill anything that actually attempts to run up that. But both players on the back of this are just droning up, and even interestingly enough, KingZerg is really afraid of an all-in. I feel like he's getting a spine up. He's afraid and not droning because of that, while Trigonal on the other side is droning.
Yeah, he knows he's safe in both directions here. He's got a pretty good kind of semi-wall off up front with the Evos and 2 queens in the spine there. And with the back rocks down, he's invincible just as you would be on any other normal map.
Invincible, just as you would be on any other. I like that.
Where there is no back door to begin with.
Yep. There needs to actually be a door, like you can swing it open and close, and just have a terrible micro war back and forth. But for now, we see Trigonal moving up into that layer. Now, he's not taking the double gas on his natural yet, so I assume this is just going to be a really big roach pressure. Maybe getting tunneling claws, burrow, something like that. I think he could do a lot of really cool things off of this. And it's going to go into a relatively undefended KingZerg. I mean, he's got Banelings out, but as you were saying before, KingZerg is not quite as developed as Trigonal.
No, and KingZerg is actually... Yeah, he realized this, and he doesn't realize he realized it. I'm sure he clicked himself to go into the base. When you do that and it's blocked, even if you don't know it's blocked, they're gonna.
They automatically figure it out.
They try and path around it, so he kept trying to pull them back. So maybe now he's figured out what happened. Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but one of the very early issues with StarCraft is you could click on minerals and see, or you click on minerals and see if they're being mined, and if you couldn't see them. Yeah, it's always kind of weird. Is that still like it? Is that still like it for anything? I'm trying to think of.
I don't think you can do that anymore. There's still like pathing things that apparently you can exploit, like like a Terran doing their normal wall off up front. You can still use pathing to somehow find it, but it's like really...
Well, if you know the normal pathing, and then let's say someone took a third base on this map. If you click on that when you haven't been there and you know the normal pathing, it actually slightly changes if it's going to a base or whatever, because they'll have to go around the base. And so from the very beginning, they will actually kind of take a detour. It's very subtle, though. I've seen some players do it, but it's super... like... You have to know it for every map, so it doesn't actually work, but you can. I've seen tests of, yes, you can actually tell. They do act differently if there's something there. But that won't be an issue now because neither player is taking something sneaky, and Trigonal is just going to go for a full force forward attack. And KingZerg doesn't really know about this yet, but he does have the Lings prepared, and he does have an Overlord ready to spot it.
Yep. These Lings will now try and run back and tell their masters that this is coming. There's a single drone coming with the attack, but that's to wrap down to the third base, knowing that the rocks have been taken down there. Trig comes up, and his opponent kind of backs up to try and get a better position. And Trig setting up a great concave there.
Oh, beautiful. A beautiful concave right there by Trigonal, but a couple Banelings do detonate, I believe. One Spinecrawler did go down earlier, but Trigonal has a better concave and is at 1-1 to KingZerg's 0-0. Even though Trigonal does not quite have as many as KingZerg, Trigonal is powering through that. He will have to retreat now, but he's only going to regroup in an even stronger force and is actually going to go for these back rocks because he can see the third base going down. And KingZerg does not even have 1-1 on the way. He does have +1-0, so now that Trigonal kind of removed the early roach count, not necessarily reset it, but killed a lot of it, he's now in a fantastic position, and I don't think KingZerg's army can even take on Trigonal if he, let's say, had a complete concave.
Yeah, especially if he has to run in really fast from out of position to try and defend this, which is just not going to be possible. That's going to be down, and the army will be gone before he can do anything. Third base does fall. The roaches going for the backdoor close here, which Trig does see, and he's going to help him.
And he's like, no, it's cool,
he's
man.
He's like, all right, sure.
It's the gentleman thing to do. Yeah. You're like, no, it's cool. Yeah, we'll both do it. Yeah, we'll just lock you off. And now he's not going to be able to actually pull that down in a later timeout. That's kind of obvious, but at the same time, think about it. He's going to take down those rocks, and next time there's going to be no back door to close for that third base. But now both players posturing into an attack. Trigonal has a nice concave, but actually both of them don't really have.
I think.
Yeah, they don't really have any concave, actually.
Yeah.
26 to 33.
And now without as big of a upgrade advantage, Trigonal does fall. A lot of the roaches in his roach count were not actually there. Trying to reset up a concave at the bottom of this ramp before both kind of pulling back here. 27 roaches for Trig compared to 23 by KingZerg. And worker count surprisingly even, given the base advantage, 44 to 41. and Trigonal actually being the lower number in that. And behind all this, KingZerg has just added on like 8 more drones all at once. So he must feel okay with where he is.
Yeah, it's kind of like Trigonal got up to the drone count he wanted. It is now staying at it. He knows he's got the third base, but he doesn't need to send drones to it quite yet. And because of that, it's actually putting him in a nice position. It's almost just you know you're at the position you want to be at, so you're able to actually work with that. You're not maybe some drones, maybe some roaches. He knows he can commit to a lot of roaches right now, and is even going for Hydralisk Den. And +2 is almost done, so he's going to be at 2-1 to KingZerg's still 1-0. And Trigonal will be able to push up this ramp. And actually, interesting enough, KingZerg is splitting up his army. He will be he's going to be going for the third base, and there's going to be relatively little to defend. One spine crawler at the ramp, but literally nothing to defend right here. And these are +1.
Nothing there. Actually, I'll go after all these drones right away and take them out fairly quickly, as well as the queen. And roaches are coming back in. He could actually run into the main, but he doesn't know the rocks have been destroyed since then. And Lings get cleaned up, but not before doing a lot of damage. There, killing about 10 drones and a queen.
Yeah. That little attack, even though it didn't get even though it was not able to snipe the hatch, it's pulled Trigonal completely out of position. He's lost his aggressive stance, and now he's actually got to go through his own wall if he wants to defend this well. This is all going for KingZerg, and there's that one queen that's it's on his hold position. He's not going to be able to get through it. KingZerg will have to pull back, but now he's given all the advantage to KingZerg here, and now KingZerg is feeling good. He's on a third base, and it's going to be much harder to lose that third base while he's being aggressive.
Yeah, loses the research on that +2 armor there. So that will slow him down a bit. He still does have the upgrade advantage being 2-1 compared to 1-1, but if he had gotten to 2-2, that makes it obviously a whole lot stronger.
Yeah, Trigonal has been banking off his upgrade lead for a very long time, and that's been helping him a lot, but he's got to be careful not to overextend too much. Now, both players are at almost even, 52 roaches to 38 roaches and 9 hydras, so they're about even. If we just look at the army supply, it's 116 of KingZerg to actually 134 of Trigonal, so he may have that up, but actually, the army engaging KingZerg engages half of Trigonal's army, not the full force, but this has actually allowed Trigonal to get a beautiful concave because some of his army was not with the main army. This is a nice concave, actually a beautiful concave from Trigonal. He's going to push up this ramp even more aggressively, but lots of his units were on move command right there. He still is going to push forward aggressively. 2-1 to the 1. Actually, both players are on 2-1 now.
Yeah, 2-1 now. Yeah. So they are evened out, but the difference here so far is being the hydras. You can see the effect of their DPS on this formation, but eventually with the spine crawler and kind of the home field advantage there, Trig does have to pull on back.
I don't really like this decision of taking a third base from KingZerg in that one position, just because it's so far away from your natural. But on the other hand, you have to suicide into it, and there's only one way out as a Zerg player, so you could easily get trapped. So Trigonal has to be very careful if he moves up to try to kill that hatch, not to get trapped, because there's one way in, one way out. And it's not going to be pretty. So it's kind of, KingZerg can almost bait him into that, but on the other hand, he can't now because he actually is starting to mine at it. Currently, 62 workers for KingZerg to the 51 of Trigonal.
Yeah, and he did a nice little move there. He kept his roaches, like you had mentioned in the previous game. It's hard to transfer drones over, but he's got this roach force like escorting them so that they don't get jumped on or have to defend themselves.
Hired thugs of the Zerg.
Yeah, exactly. Now he probably wants to get off that high ground himself, though, or he could end up in this position he doesn't want to be.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is actually, wait, this could happen to KingZerg. On the other hand, though, actually no. Yeah. Trigonal does have some overseers with his army. He will be able to have that high ground vision, but he's got to be careful if he engages up that ramp that KingZerg doesn't take him from the left-hand side and flanks him. But now, that's actually the opposite.
Now he will get flanked, but now Trig has the high ground, and he knew that the rest of the army is trapped back there. A little portion of it comes. He's surrounded, but he's got the dominating force. So the surround is now cleaned up.
And as you mentioned, these Hydras adding so much DPS into it, and it's actually gonna flip. Now it's gonna be a somewhat sandwich of KingZerg. Yeah. GG. And
we are back here, and we are on Terraform, the terraformiest map in the world. Over here
I
on the
wondered
top,
where you're going with that.
it doesn't really matter. They put a lot of effort into this map. They literally, it started as just a big mountain,
They
and they had to
terraformed
drop down
it.
to this. They terraformed it, exactly. And up here on the top left-hand corner, going for another early pool and gas, is our player who is on his last leg. It is KingZerg.
And his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner of Terraform. Loving them extractor tricks from the UK and Edgy Dank Gaming. It is our own Trigonal.
I always love it too. Extractor tricks, compensating for just forgetting an overlord since 2010.
It's like, wait, do you take them as being smart and being like, haha, or do you?
Yeah, I don't know.
You can only say it's truly smart when it's the pros, when they have a build and they're like, haha, extractor trick it. When they make like 50 spines and then they're at 220 out of 200.
Exactly. Yeah, when you extractor trick your 12th drone or something, then that was a thing. The first one, I think, loses money or something. But in either case, we've got, honestly, we've got KingZerg in basically the worst possible scenario here. Trigonal made enough lings, like basically they have the same number at this point, and that is not good when you're the player like that intended to rush.
Yeah, well, they're at the same number. Trigonal's taking a natural, and Trigonal's not taking his gas. So he's got the defender's advantage. Only 4 lings are coming in, and at first KingZerg's going to be fantastic. He's got a hatch, and then he's going to meet 8 lings.
Correctly. Yeah,
10 lings actually.
2 down. That 2 down little trap on the top of the ramp is enough advantage to have to drive everything back, and everything does indeed pull back to KingZerg's side. And he's still making lings, though. Maybe he already had those going, but both of them probably need to start with a queen. Trig is, but he had to extract a trick to start it because he was supply blocked.
Yep, those extractor tricks. You just need random Vespine guys who's like littered across the map, so you can just whenever you need to. But for now, still no natural base for KingZerg. As you were saying, a lot of lings are actually out from. He's going up to which Trigonal will not have. But Trigonal's actually deciding, you know what, I'm going to be a little... Actually, he's not deciding I'm going to be a little aggressive. I would actually like to see him take out these rocks, maybe. But instead of going for speed, he's going to go for Banelings, which, if KingZerg is not aggressive enough, is going to just go completely to Trigonal here.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, exactly. I think Trigonal has no incentive to be aggressive here. He's got an Overlord that can spot whether or not the natural has been taken, and it's not, and his is up. So he doesn't want to risk it running across the map. As long as he stays there, he knows that he's got the superior count, speed or not, he'll be able to likely defend.
Yeah, he will be able to defend speed or not with that queen on the high ground, with those lings, and he just does not want to lose this natural base. That is what he's invested in. That is what he's going to capitalize off of. And he's not going to... I mean, no Banelings are morphing in yet. He could morph in a couple Banelings, but he thinks he can actually take it. That was a bad idea right there. 2 Banelings are morphing in, but this queen, with those Banelings, is actually going to form the best wall ever.
Actually, he will divert a couple for the Banelings and then go after the hatchery with the rest. This one could have... I don't know if he could have finished that or not. But yeah, okay, we'll end up losing the hatchery here, and I'm surprised that it ended up going that way. But good control from
But all just died.
Yeah. Yeah, drones go home.
Yeah. Yeah, basically
So,
right
yeah,
there,
that
Trigonal had to keep his
stabilizes.
cool, and now he's in a fine position. A whole bunch of stuff by the spine crawler died, but I didn't. It was strange. I don't know. Maybe that was me.
It's they're back on virtually exactly even stuff. The 13 drones to 13 drones. There was 8 Zergs to 8 Zergs. Now an advantage for KingZerg, but the Banelings, of course, on Trigonal's side of things. And it's KingZerg that will take the natural now.
Yeah, KingZerg will take the natural, and since all his lings are still alive, he can, I mean, he essentially has a bit of a, not necessarily chokehold, but he's going to be able to keep pressuring in and denying this natural as much as he wants. Finally, Trigonal does have 2 banelings though, so he can change the turn the tide of battle. He's got his queen up in the main, he's going to be able to keep injecting. While on the other side of the map, KingZerg is actually going to be going up to layer quickly. He's only got 1 gas, but it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to really use this, because he has to do a lot of damage here to... He's got to be able to do a lot of damage here to really deny any aggression from Trigonal, because he's going to up to such a quick layer without banelings, without anything like that to actually be able to defend. But for now, he's looking like he's in a fine position if Trigonal doesn't move out.
Yeah, he'll do all right from where he is. He can't really push in, like you said, with the banelings, but that's fine if he gets things going on his side of things. He's up by 1 drone at this point, and the lair tech, if he just kind of skips over the whole baneling path and goes directly into roaches, could very well end up working out.
Yeah, it could work out very well, but it's going to be a little bit for that to actually happen.
Be a while.
There's only a couple seconds left, and ideally you're going to put that
He is making
tech...
a baneling nest, yeah.
Oh, ideally you're going to put that tech as a wall in your natural. It doesn't quite have the creep there, so there's still, I mean, there's like 10 to 15 seconds, and even more than that he's got to wait. But right now KingZerg does have a 200 to 300 gas bank here, so it's kind of up in the air right now. He could make a couple decisions which would be very game changing, but now Trigonal is only getting into a much more defendable position. It's currently 17 of Trigonal to 30 of KingZerg.
Indeed, and KingZerg has put down a Spire. We'll see if this Overlord actually gets in close enough to see that that is what's happening, and he does. He'll be able to see that, and I think it is clicked on. I can see the little clicked on ring there by Trig, so he is aware that that will be the transition, and this could provide a big opportunity if he could get roaches up and over, or just to fully defend against the spores and deal with it from there. Mute is off 2 bases, like especially like kind of 1.5 bases where the second base doesn't even have gas, and it can be a pretty tall order.
Yeah, KingZerg is trying to get double gas up now, and they will finish before the Spire is done. Spire's 100 seconds, a very long time as a tech choice, and that may work, but on the other hand, I mean, if Trigonal... They're almost going to contain each other to 2 bases if Trigonal ever moves out. Yeah. But with that, Trigonal, I think, is going to be able to defend getting up those getting some spores up. He's just got to have a little bit of a scout. He does not quite have that yet, though, sadly. He has a little map presence on the other side of the map. He does see the natural base, though. Double gas went down at the same time, so maybe he's going to be able to get some information off of that. But both players are going to be banking off of 2 base, which is going to be easy for Trigonal to defend. But again, as we mentioned, 22 workers to 38. Trigonal is down 10, 15 workers, and it's not going well for him. He's making lots of spines and lots of spore crawlers too, but it's just not the best thing right now. He's being made to compensate, or he's being made to invest into other things where he doesn't actually want to do that.
Yeah, getting the spores up, which is a pretty good timing. I guess, again, as a Zerg player, he knew around when the Spire would finish and when mutas would be able to be out. And yeah, those mutas come out, but they're, again, used defensively. And generally speaking, even though his opponent already knew about them, you just don't want your mutas to be used defensively as their first attack. You always want them doing something aggressive. But the roaches will have to back up here, as, of course, there's not enough of them to kind of do that normal roach thing of ignoring mutas. And with the 5 spine crawlers, he can't break in there anyway.
Yeah, Trigonal will have to pull back to his natural base, which is only now starting to saturate. He's got his injects going, but still he's on just normal hatch tech, not on layer, not on hive. And it's a little bit scary for him because I feel like he could push out, but still on the other hand, he's going to have 0 map presence. He does not even have an overlord at his opponent's base and is not going to even be able to survive the spine survival. Oh, barely will survive, but it's looking very scary for Trig because KingZerg almost has completely free reign of the map.
Yeah, coming in here actually to pick off a queen despite the spore being there will be a little bit costly. He's actually target firing the spore down, which is not cost efficient to do, but he will eventually get it. But that was at the cost of like 6 or more mutas.
That actually, I don't want to say game changing, but that actually it
That's
killed the majority
big.
of them. A queen got out, pushed that back,
Yeah.
and now he only
He
lost
got
four
some drones.
drones.
Yeah, he got some
Four.
drones, but not enough to compensate for like 6 meters gone. Um, so yeah, like when you look at what's lost, the resource count has just swung in favor of Trigonal there, whereas it was in KingZerg's bank the entire way.
That was not good. I think Trigonal started layer and then canceled it. I just saw the momentary loss
Yeah.
of like whatever minerals that you started. Maybe not actually. May have been incorrect. May have canceled some larva. But now one overlord will be sniped. There's now two spore crawlers in the main, a queen to defend, and the natural is going to be pretty easy to defend. Three queens and a spore crawler, but still, Trigonal's not actually droning up like he needs to be.
Yeah, he's just not getting that up. And when he does happen to make drones, he's having to turn them into spores. He's having to put down extra static defense, obviously, to deal with this. And a lot of the minerals he's making have to go into queen production to make sure that he's able to defend both spots.
And KingZerg, even though at first I was like, wow, he overmade so many spine crawlers, but
Yeah.
he's fine now. He's on a third
Yeah.
base. He could easily move them to his third base, have a nice defense, and he's now starting to get up a decent roach count. He does not actually have upgrades yet, though. Both players, literally the only upgrade so far is metabolic boost. Not 1-1, not nothing. So I still feel like this could swing easily either way, but definitely KingZerg has a nice commanding grip on this game, but it's kind of variable.
Yeah. Yeah, going after this gas, the roaches coming over to watch.
I love that.
And,
It's like it's a spectator sport. See how
Yeah.
see how long you can survive against the mutas running.
Yeah, totally. And it's funny you point out the upgrade thing. When do you ever get mutas but not get +1?
That's what I was thinking. It was like, whoa, what is he kind of doing here? And
So
he's got 1,000 gas bank. Actually, both players have 1,000 gas bank.
Yeah. Yeah, but on Trig's side, it's because he can't really spend it on anything. I don't know what KZ's excuse is. He's now moving out with the queens again. We saw this, I think, in the first series against Baloo. It didn't work then. I have no reason to doubt that it won't work now.
Well,
It's a long way.
we'll have to see.
Yeah, like it's a long way.
It's
gotta
a
go
little
through
bit
these
different
roaches.
this time, but
It is a bit different. It's definitely a better chance than last time, but yeah, it's still a bit rough.
Legacy of the Void needs a queen upgrade, like a queen speed upgrade or something like that. That'd be the most baller thing ever. It would be terrible. But now, actually, Trigonal's a nice concave. The Mutalisks
Yeah,
are
it's-
engaging, but the transfuses are going down. Good transfuses, but there's just not actually quite enough for Trigonal. He's finally
Yeah,
will be able to get rid of these
King-
Mutalisks, but it's just I don't know if this is actually honestly enough, and there's nothing to transfuse back at home. Sorry, not to inject, not transfuse.
Yeah, so the queens will get cleaned up, and we're going to see a GG here in just a second where the last one falls. And KingZerg evens the series up 1-1. Back here, and we are on Coda. They went for the two weirder maps at the start of the series. Now we're on one that they have a lot more experience with, most likely anyway. The series is at 1-1. And once again, going for a fairly early pool here, as well as gas, as we discussed, is our blue Zerg player, and he is KingZerg.
And hopefully the top left-hand player has not been introduced yet.
Nope.
But, nope, fantastic. From the ASL, our homeboy right here. It is the purple Zerg player from Edgy Dank Esports. Give it up for Trigonal.
Whoa.
We need,
And
we
yeah,
need that
so-
clap in the thing you bang together, the things you bang.
Oh yeah, the sticks, the thunder sticks, they were awesome.
Understicks, thank you.
So Trigonal going for an early, not an early time pool, fairly normal time pool. His opponent went for a 10 pool with Extractor. So again, this could be fast speed, or it could be 10 pool Bane. I hope it's 10 pool Bane because that's more interesting to me, but we'll see.
It's that stage of the game where you're like, yeah, nothing's happening. They're being Zergs. They're doing the exact same thing, but they are not. Trigonal, as we said, going pull into that hatch. And for his opponent, KingZerg is truly being the king of Zerg and is pushing out, doing that Ling Rush.
Yeah, and it's going to be a speed one. Instead, of course, Trig sees that right away, has Lings on his way, has a Spine Crawler on its way. He does not have a Queen started yet, can't afford it just at the moment, obviously. And the Lings are coming in. Trig fairly well prepared. Kind of just want to keep him out.
Yep, Trigonal is well prepared for this. He's got the Spine Crawler going, lost no drones, and all his Lings are just very low in health, but they all serve their country right here. They did the defense, and now they just have to make sure the natural base does not go down. It's actually going to pull a couple
drones. He's actually pulling drones to try and do that, but as he sees more Lings come in, I think he's just going to cancel and accept it. There's no way to save it anyway. Oh, except that he pulls off like.
Oh, maybe just the way you say. I
still would have canceled it. He did that on purpose, so that he would potentially not cancel it and he could kill it later. Now he's just going to end up killing a ton of drones that Trigonal just decided to give him.
GG, KingZerg taking second place in the.
Trigonal, what the hell was that?
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.